Hi guys, we will now discuss non-interest bearing notes, equal installment. First installment is due immediately. So we will have a sample problem. On January 1, 20X1, ABC Corporation sold land with a historical cost of 2,500,000 pesos in exchange for a non-interest bearing note receivable of 3 million pesos due in 3 equal annual installments starting January 1, 20X1 and every January 1 thereafter. The prevailing rate of interest for this kind of note is 12%. So first of all, let us discuss what kind of note is this. This is a non-interest bearing note. So what do we mean if it is a non-interest bearing note? It means that wala siyang stated rate, and secondly, the interest is implied or the interest is already included sa 3 million pesos. So take note na pag non-interest bearing note siya, ang interest kasama na sa 3 million pesos. Kasi, what kind of note is this? This is a non-interest bearing note. And then, next. Kailan ang collection ng principal? When is the collection of principal? The collection of principal is in 3 equal annual installments. So this is an installment collection of the principal. So ang 3 million pesos, it will be divided in 3 equal annual installments. So the collection of the principal is in installments. Next question. When is the first installment? The first installment is due immediately. What does it mean? Kailan natin matatanggap ang first installment collection? When can we collect the first installment? We can collect the first installment on January 1, 20X1. So the first installment is to be collected immediately. By January 1, 20X1, the first installment payment is already due. So that's why the first installment is due immediately. So probably you're asking, Sir, why is it important to assess kung kailan ang first installment? If it is due immediately or if it is due 1 year from now. Why is it important to assess? Because this will matter in the formula that we will use in computing for the present value. So magmamatter yan. And then next, what is the prevailing rate of interest for the note? The prevailing rate of interest is 12%. So what is the 12%? This is the market rate. And this is the rate that we will use in computing for the present value. So ang 12%, ito ang market rate or in other words, the effective rate. Therefore, for the purpose of finding the present value, we will be using the 12%. So what are the things that we need to do next? Step 1, we need to find the present value. Question, what formula will we use? So number 1, we will be using the annuity formula. We will be using the annuity formula here. Bakit natin gagamitin ang annuity formula? Kasi ang first cash receipt or why do we use the annuity due? Kasi equal installments. So that's number 1. Equal installment siya. So this is an installment collection. Every year, we are expected to receive a part of the principal. And equal installments Kasi equal ang natatanggap natin every year. So for every year, matatanggap natin 1 million pesos. So because of that, we will be using annuity. To be more specific, we will be using the annuity due. Hindi ang ordinary annuity. Ang gagamitin natin dito, annuity due. Bakit annuity due ang gagamitin natin? Kasi kailan ang first collection? When is the first cash receipt or when is the first collection? The first collection is due immediately. By January 1, 20X1, may matatanggap na tayong 1 million pesos. So because of that, we will be using the annuity due formula. So, magkano yung annual installment? Every year, how much money will we receive? Every year, how much money will we receive? So the annual installment is 3 million pesos divided by 3 years. Kasi 3 years ang installment. So 3 years siya. So because of that, the annual installment is 1 million pesos per year. The annual installment is 1 million pesos per year. Okay. So ang gagawin natin, ang 1 million pesos, we will multiply this to the PV factor for annuity due. So ang gagawin natin, we will compute for the PV factor using the annuity due. So what is the formula? 1 minus 1.12 raised to negative 3. Take note na yung power of 3, kailangan nating i-minus sa 1. Kasi pag annuity due, yung power, yung nasa taas, kailangan nating i-minus sa 1. So 1.12 raised to negative, open and close parenthesis, 3 minus 1 divided by the rate, which is 12% or 0.12 plus 1. So, pag annuity due siya, kinda complicated ang pang-compute ng PV factor. So, we will discuss this one by one. Okay. Ang first na ginawa natin, 3 minus 1. So, pag i-deduct natin ang 3 minus 1, what is the answer? It's 2. So, dito, 1 minus 1.12 raised to negative 2 na lang. Raised to negative 2 na lang. Kasi, negative 3 or raised to negative, open and close parenthesis, 3 minus 1. So, what is the answer? 2. So that's why 1 minus 1.12 raised to negative 2 na lang. So raised to negative 2 divided by 0.12. So ito muna ang isa-solve natin. We will solve this first. So what is the answer? 1.690051. Ang gagawin natin, ang 1.690051, i-add natin sa 1. So this is one of the unique characteristics of an annuity due formula. Kasi ina-add natin sa 1. So 1.690051 0051 plus 1. So the PV factor that we will use in computing for the present value is ito, 2.690051. So what we will do is, i-multiply natin ang 1 million pesos times 2.690051. So what is the present value? The present value here is 2.690051. 2,690,051. So we are already done in computing for the present value. So what is the next thing that we will do? The next thing that we will do is we will create an amortization table. As you can see, the present value is 2,690,051. So ito yung present value as of January 1, 20x1. It's 2,690,051. And then what happens? By January 1, 20x1, makokolekta na natin ang first collection, which is 1 million pesos. So because of that, ang effect, take note, no, na pag present value, what do we expect pag installments? At the end of the term, the present value will be equal to 0. So that's why expect na pag installment siya, pababa ng pababa ang present value. Bakit pababa ng pababa ang present value? Kasi every year may natatanggap tayong installment collection. So may natatanggap tayong pera or may natatanggap tayong collections. So because of that, the present value will slowly decrease to 0. Kasi as the years go by, may natatanggap tayong collections. So that's why on January 1, 20x1, kasi makokolekta na natin ang 1 million pesos, we will deduct this. We will deduct 1 million pesos to 2,690,051. Therefore, the present value by January 1, 20x1 is 1,690,051. Okay. Probably you're asking, Sir, bakit walang interest income dito, sir? Bakit at the first collection, bakit walang interest income? The question is, when do we recognize interest? We only recognize interest at the passage of time. We recognize interest at the passage of time. So remember na ito, kailan mo na-kolekta? The same date. January 1, 20x1. So wala pang time na nag-lapse. Or wala pang time na there's no time that passed yet. Or there's no time that lapsed. So because of that, wala pa tayong interest income. Kasi wala pang passage of time. Wala pang passage of time, the interest income does not exist yet. So, ganon. So, after the first collection, the present value becomes 1,690,051. And then, this is the time that we will start recognizing interest income. So how do we compute for the interest income? Present value times effective rate. Present value times effective rate. So what we will do is, 1,690,051 times 12%. Since the market rate or the effective rate is 12%. Therefore, our interest income is 202,806. And then, what will we do dito sa 202,806? We will deduct this by 1 million pesos. So, kung ano yung difference ng 1 million pati ng 202,806, that will be the amortization. And how much is the amortization? It's 797,194. So this is the amortization. 797,194. And then, what will we do? Ang 797,194, we will deduct this to 1,690,051. Therefore, 1,690,051 minus 797,194 by January 1, 20x2, magkano na lang ang present value? By January 1, 20x2, our present value is 892,857. So this will be our present value as of January 1, 20x2. And then, again, ang 892,857, we will multiply this again by the effective rate. Therefore, 892,857 times 12% is 107,143. And then, what will happen is, we will deduct 1 million pesos minus 107,143. So how much is the difference between 1 million and 107,143? That will be our amortization, 892,857. And then, what we will do is 892,857 minus 892,857. So, by January 1, 20x3, which is the end of the term, the present value is expected to be 0. So, that is how we create an amortization table for this kind of note. So, we're done with the amortization table. So what are the journal entries for this transaction? So i-discuss na natin ngayon kung ano ang mga journal entries. So for January 1, 20x1, debit notes receivable 3 million pesos because this is the face amount of the note. Ito yung amount na nakalagay sa face ng note. It's 3 million pesos. And then we will credit land. Credit land, 2,500,000 pesos. Credit land, 2,500,000. And then unearned interest income. So ano nga ba tong unearned interest income? Unearned interest income is the difference between the face amount and the present value. So that is how we compute for unearned interest income. This is the difference between the face amount and the present value. Therefore, 3 million pesos minus the present value of 2,690,051, which is our present value sa January 1, 20X1, how much is the difference? It's 309,949. So that will be our unearned interest income. So as you can observe, ang debit and credit side, hindi pa siya nagbabalance as of the moment. So what will be our squeeze account that will balance the debit and the credit? Gain on sale of land. We will recognize a gain on sale of land in this kind of transaction worth 190,051. Why is this a gain? Bakit gain on sale? Kasi, how much have you gave up? What is the cost of the land that you gave up? The cost of the land that you gave up is 2,500,000 pesos. How much is the consideration that you received? Ano ba yung present value ng note? The consideration that you receive is 2,690,051. So, kumbaga pa, gain. This is a gain. Kasi, how much have you gave up? 2,500,000 pesos. How much is the consideration that you receive? From the sale of land, you receive a consideration of 2,690,051. So, kumbaga pa, gain. This is a gain on sale. Because of that, we will credit 190,051 kasi gain siya. We will recognize a gain. So, this is the first journal entry. And then next. By January 1, 20X1, meron ng first collection of the installment. So by January 1, 20X1, makokolekta mo na ang first installment ng note. So because of that, on January 1, 20X1, we will journalize debit cash 1 million pesos, credit note receivable 1 million pesos. So this will be our first installment collection. And then next. Okay. For December 31, 20X1, time already passed by. So, isang taon na ang dumaan. Therefore, for December 31, 20X1, you need to have an adjusting entry. Kailangan natin mag-recognize ng adjusting entry sa December 31, 20X1 because time already passed. And since time already passed, by December 31, 20X1, we need to recognize interest income for the year 20X1. Kasi from January 1 to December 31, 20X1, time already passed. And because of that, we need to have an adjusting entry to recognize the interest income. So what will be our adjusting entry? Debit, unearned interest income, 202,806. Credit interest income, 202,806. Kasi na-earn na natin yung interest since time passed by already. So magre-recognize tayo ng interest income. And then, on January 1, 20X2, matatanggap na natin ang second installment ng note. So, matatanggap na natin ang 1 million pesos na second installment on January 1, 20X2. Therefore, our journal entry is debit cash 1 million pesos, credit note receivable 1 million pesos. So this is for the second installment collection. And then for December 31, 20X2, we need to journalize again. We need to journalize an adjusting entry to recognize interest income because time already passed by. Dumaan na yung isang taon for 20X2. Because of that, we need to recognize interest income. So what is our journal entry here? Debit and earned interest income, 107,143. And we will also credit interest income, 107,143. And then finally, on January 1, 20X3, matatanggap na natin ang last installment collection. So, by January 1, 20X3, matatanggap na natin ang last installment. So, because of that, we will journalize on January 1, 20X3, debit cash, 1 million pesos, credit note receivable, 1 million pesos. So, these are the journal entries for non-interest bearing note, equal installment collections. First installment is due immediately. So, what are the takeaways that we had for this video? Number one, nagmamatter kung kailan mo matatanggap or kailan mo makokolekta ang first installment. Kasi if it is due immediately, we will be using the annuity due. If it is due 1 year from now naman, anong gagamitin natin? We will be using the ordinary annuity formula. So take note na pag equal installments ang problem, kailangan nyo talagang basahin or you really need to read kailan ang first collection. Because meron siyang implication sa pag-compute ng present value and the amortization table and even the journal entries. May implication kung kailan ang first installment collection. So that's it for now. I hope that you learned something and thank you for listening.